Good evening, everyone. We are going to start here in the next few minutes just to give everyone some time to jump on, and then we'll get started. All right. Well, while everyone is getting settled, I want to just first start off by saying thank you for being here. We know many of you are wrapping up your workday, just now getting home. So we so appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule and evening to spend the day with us. In addition to that, I know some of our attendees are going to be on the West Coast, so you might be taking a late break or a late lunch. So again, appreciate your time. And my name is Liz. I'm one of our senior enrollment advisors here for our program. So I'm excited to be with you, be here with you today. I have a fantastic session where we're going to cover our brand new certificate in data management and statistical analysis program, really diving into the program, what you can expect as a UOnline student, what the courses are going to consist of, and you're going to get to hear from a very special guest. But before I introduce her, I do want to cover a few housekeeping items. And just to start, we again know that your time is very fragile and very important. So we want to be courteous to that. So this session is going to be about an hour, maybe a little less, just depending on the questions that come in. But if for any reason you have to head out, again, we totally understand, and you will get a recording of the session sent to you via email. That way you can catch up on anything that you might have missed, but we do hope that you stick around with us. Again, we are going to cover a lot of questions today with our special speaker today just to explore this program, but we also understand that there might be some questions that you guys have that we haven't thought of. And so feel free to utilize the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. You can submit any questions that you have for myself or Dr. On, and we'll definitely do our best to try to get those answered for you today. If you have specific questions, maybe it's about financial aid, the application process, and you want to speak directly with an enrollment advisor, you will see our contact information at the bottom. So you can give us a call, you can submit a chat, you can email us, whatever is better for your schedule. We want to make sure that we're there for you. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to our special guest. I am joined today by Dr. On. Dr. On, again, thank you so much for being here. I could definitely read off your amazing title because you do so much for this university, but I want to give you the opportunity, if you'll just take some time to introduce yourself, just share a little bit more about your role within the university and then how you specifically serve our online certificate students.
Sure. Thank you, Liz. So hello, everybody, and welcome to our info session. And I am Suyeon An. I am the professor in Research Measurement Evaluation Program at the School of Education and Human Development. And I am program director at this moment for our PhD program in Research Measurement Evaluation Program. I'm going to call it as RME program. And I am also director of a statistical supporting unit that we are supporting or providing statistical consultation to faculty members, students, and community members. Whenever they have a data analysis or data collection issues, I usually be with them. And at the school, I am also now new role as vice dean. So I am overseeing graduate studies, research, and academic affairs, an online program for our School of Education and Human Development. So I just want to tell you my research is more about developing statistical methods that handle various methodological challenges in advanced statistical models that are often used in social sciences and educations. So our program is a little different from other data science program. It's more geared toward the social sciences, education, health studies, and dealing more with the complicated studies that you will be answering the research issues or common data issues. So I believe, Liz, you were asking what's my role at this online certificate program. And again, I will be you guys' program director. If you guys are coming in, I will be working with you to go through the program. And at the end, you will be having successful the career through or successful path through our programs. And I will be also meeting with you as instructors of many courses for statistics or data analysis. And given that I will be vice dean of the school, whenever you have any programmatic issues or any other things that you want to talk to me, to resolve some issues in collaboration with you online colleagues. I will be working with you guys. So I think that's it about me. And personally, I love to work with the data, and I really, really excited to work with you guys, and hopefully you guys can join me.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much. And you say that's it about you, but that's a lot. So I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. And every student that I've worked with in other programs that we have, they sing your praises. So these certificate students are going to be so very lucky to be able to work with you. So again, excited to dive into this program. We're very excited about it since it is one of our newest programs that we have to offer. And, such a hot area of focus right now with, diving into data management and statistics. And so you just mind sharing a little bit more about the curriculum design, just kind of different key skills that students will learn while they're in the program?
Sure. So I will say one thing I might want to speak about my program is more about play with data. And other way I can say is apply methodology into practices. So as I say that you will learn some basic theoretical and technical skills and foundations. However, our focus will be a lot into how we can apply this one to data analysis and reporting and data management. So then at the end, we can communicate about what we found from data analysis and data collections to people, our stakeholders in many different areas in very plain languages. So in a way that anybody can be understanding data and what the data is telling you. Because we are very much into applications, we are focusing a lot on programming skills. So we'll be working with many different tools. The reason is I always say that having more tools in your hands will be great weapons that you can have to understand data and play with data set. So the programming language we'll be using will be R, which is really, frequently used in the field, and Python, and then SPSS and SAS, and potentially this data can be also added into our curriculum. So as I said, play with data and report it and talk to people in a way that everybody can understand. So that at the end, everybody can be understanding data better way and accurately. So I think that's going to be my emphasis of the curriculum, and our instructors will be getting into this one together.
Perfect. Yes, thank you. And just to reiterate from an admissions standpoint, I definitely want to share that how our programs are structured are specifically with the full-time working adult in mind. We know that flexibility is key for success in our programs. And so it is 100% online. There is never going to be a time that you're required to come to campus, and everything that you need can be done from the comfort of your home. So what it's going to look like on, a day-to-day perspective is it's 7-week long classes. You would take a 1-week long break, and then you would pick up your next course. The classroom is going to be yours 24/7, so that, you're choosing what time of day you're logging in to work on your assignments, contribute to those discussions. But Dr. Ahn, I know a lot of students have questions, if I am a full-time working adult, what is the time commitment that you would suggest for students in order to make sure that they're successful in the program?
So it depends. It depends on individuals, definitely. However, whenever I'm not using statistic tools in one day, I'm forgetting it, even though I am majoring in this one. So I would say at least 1 to 3 hours per day, depending on your flexibilities. And not only that one, we will be working with you if you have questions, emailing me, emailing instructors. We'll be working with you in the whole program together. So you are not going to be alone. And there are lots of other ways we can support you, but I would say at least minimum 1 to 3 hours per day, or every other day will be, I want to say so, but at least 1 hour will be the one I might want to recommend everybody to play with the data.
That is very helpful and obviously very doable. We have some students that will log into their online classroom during their lunch hour or before they head out for the day for work, or as soon as they get home. So it is very much doable. You just need to make sure that you have a schedule, you stick with it. And, like Dr. Ahn said, making sure that you're reaching out when you have that need that help. But to kind of shift gears a little bit, I know we spoke a little bit more about the curriculum and how it can be used as an incredible tool, especially given society and how big of an impact data has on everyday use of that we do. So can you share a little bit more about the various career paths that students might see, upon completion? And then also, would there be any opportunities for like leadership level positions?
So I will start from something that can be different in their stages. So if you are now working in the data science or data analysis area, having this one with different programming skill sets, I can tell the certificate can get you the next level of your leadership positions or promotions. So I think if you are in the area, having this one, honing your skill sets and getting more your hands dirty, and you know how to play with your data set and communicate with the stakeholders, I think that will be the best way you can promote yourself into the next level. And once you get into the next level after this one, maybe you are more interested in getting into other graduate programs. I'm sure we have in UOnline, we have other programs that you want to go for. And it can be anything coming from data related up to other things in more content areas. It can be business. It can be also, I would say, other learning areas. And I would say there are lots of career that you can go for after this one to go for graduate studies. And you can also go for UOnline if you're still working on it. But let's say you are now more into getting to know about data, but you are very much curious about this one. I would say that this will get you the capacity level that you feel really confident about working with data set and having the skill sets, having more experience at your working area. You can see the next step to go for it. So depending on you are in, you can hone in your skills, or you can also jump into other promotions. So I would say that this can be your good jump start to getting into the next level you want to go into your career or your academic or your personal life. So I would say it can be flexible. It depends on your goals, but I'm happy to work with you. I'm happy to talk to you, and I'm happy to guide you if you're coming to our programs. Hope this answered you, Liz.
It did, absolutely. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that. That is actually one of my favorite things about the program, as someone who definitely does not have a background in data analytics or statistics. I actually have a background in psychology, and so it's encouraging to think about the fact that I could enter this program without having any in-depth knowledge. Should we say that my passion becomes wanting to focus on data. And so that is so encouraging for those students that are looking to pursue the program. If they have a background in education or health sciences or social sciences, it allows them to be able to build their resume, expand their portfolio in order to be a more versatile employee, or even maybe look into a career change. And I think that is something that helps set our certificate apart, is it opens the door for endless possibilities to make sure that you have that capacity needed, like what you shared. So thank you so much for that.
That's definitely it. Just my bachelor degree was psychology, and I was working as a play therapist, working with autistic kids.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I will say that I don't have a hard math background, but I just love to find a way that I can diagnose those people with the different challenges. That's why I got into my career to go for applied statistics and psychometrics. So I will say, with the psychology background, if you are really curious about how the data can make the differences on people's life, I think that's a good starting point.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I love the fact that your background isn't even in, that's so encouraging for students. So if you're listening, know that you are definitely not alone, and that Dr. On has obviously become to, come to love and learn how to utilize these skills, and can definitely advocate for you and empathize with you as well.
Definitely.
Yes. Well, I do want to take a quick break and just reiterate to those who maybe have jumped on a little bit later, there is a Q&A option at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to send us any questions. We want to make sure this session is for you. And we know it's such a big decision. It's a big step. oftentimes intimidating just to even consider the idea of grad school, even a graduate level certificate. So if you have specific questions for Dr. On, make sure that you're sending those our way, and we would love to get those answered for you. But I also just want to take some time to let you know about our application. If you like what you're hearing so far, you want to take that next step of applying, please do. We would love it to get you connected with an enrollment advisor like myself to walk you through each step of the process. But take it from me, it is very simple to do. And honestly, if you have your documents ready, it's probably not going to take you any longer than about 30 minutes. So first off, it is free to apply. So all of our UOnline programs, you will not have to worry about any type of application fee, which if you've done your research, that is very difficult to find these days. It can be very expensive to apply to grad school. So we want to make sure that is nothing standing in your way from being able to move forward with this program if you find that it's going to be the best fit for you. And then once you get started, you will see the items that we need on your screen. We're just going to ask for your transcript, and that can be an unofficial copy. You'll just want to make sure that it includes your name, the school's name, your cumulative GPA, the full list of your courses. And if it doesn't have the school's name, you can also make sure that it either has the URL at the bottom or the school symbol, but we can definitely utilize that unofficial transcript to at least move you forward with an admissions decision. After that, we're also going to ask for your resume. Again, there's no specific work experience that you have to have. So if you don't have any experience within, data management or statistics, don't let that stop you from applying like we just shared. So make sure you get that resume uploaded. That could impact impact possible tuition waiver or scholarship opportunities that we offer. So as much work experience that you have, go ahead and list it on there. After that, we're also going to ask for a personal statement. And this is definitely my favorite part of the application. In short, basically, we just want our faculty to know a little bit more about you. That is something that we pride ourselves on here, is to make sure that all of our students are viewed as an individual. So when you're reviewed for acceptance, either our admissions committee or our faculty, when they review your application, they're able to read your personal statement, which is really, in short, your story, why you're looking to pursue the program, what your career goals are, what's led you to this point, how you plan to be successful. The options are endless. So make it your own. Typically, we suggest at least 1 to 2 pages, but be sure to connect with an enrollment advisor if you have questions. And of course, we'd love to assist you with that process as best as we can. And then lastly, we are going to ask for 2 letters of recommendation, but this is super simple. All you have to do is just submit the email addresses of 2 recommenders that you would like to write on your behalf. So this could be professional or academic. It does not have to be one or the other, such as like 1 professional and 1 academic or both academic. As long as they're able to vouch for you on that professional or academic level, we will absolutely accept those recommendations for you. So as soon as you submit their email address, they'll get a link from us to submit that on your behalf, and then we'll accept it and you'll be all good to go. And then at the bottom of your screen, you'll also see the FAFSA. If you know that you're going to utilize financial aid, we recommend going ahead and submitting that FAFSA just so that you know what aid you have available. Now, this is totally optional. So if you've decided that you're going to pay out of pocket or you're going to be able to utilize employer tuition assistance, you can disregard this requirement. But if you know that you're going to utilize the aid, go ahead and do that FAFSA just because there are specific deadlines that the government sets, and we want to make sure that you're all set and ready to go in that regard. So again, this is just all we would need to apply. It is very simple. In addition to that, at the end of our session, we are going to have a gift to give you upon completion of that application to make it a little bit easier. So be sure to stick around so that you can learn more about what that is. But I do want to go back to Dr. On just to pick up with our questions. And again, if you do have any questions, feel free to send those in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. But Dr. On, I know you mentioned that there's not necessarily a specific type of background, but I know you mentioned that Python is one of the systems that our students will really dive into. If a student has 0 experience in any data or statistical program, is there anything that you would suggest that they do on the front end just to make sure that they're going to be successful in that, or will our course fully prepare them for that?
I will say that whenever you are coming to statistical classes, the first thing people say is, I'm so anxious. I'm so nervous. I don't know what I'm doing it. I hated a statistic, but this is really required for my job. I would say number one is get rid of your anxiety. And this is not going to be something that is so difficult. And I would say this is some foreign languages, and you guys will be doing something. Whenever you're learning new languages, you need to memorize certain things, you need to get to know what's the rules. And at the first couple classes, instructors, including myself, will go through those required small little basic things about each static software. However, if you really want to prepare yourself, maybe just to go and check out some other, I guess, YouTube or some other Googling, and just find out something that you can learn something about basics, I guess, programming skills in R and Python. I believe R and Python can be easily accessible, and R is especially free. So if you can get into something like, dive it in yourself and get your hand a little dirty, I think that might be the one you might want to start. However, we'll be working with you guys from the starting to go through what are the basic rules of each static software. We'll be also providing the codes that you guys can play with it. So even though you don't have any program skills, and it's not like a C++ that you were thinking about from computer science, we're not computer scientists here. So we'll be working from a lot of macros that's already developed it out there. So I would say get rid of your anxiety and put your hand dirty and play with data.
I love that. Play with data. It really makes it seem much more simple. And for those who, like we mentioned earlier, don't have that data background, it can make you feel very anxious. So I love the idea. In this program, you're going to learn how to play with data. Let's play with it. Let's use it. Let's implement new policies, new programs, different ways of doing things based off of the data that others might not have already thought of. So I love that. Thank you. And I know you had mentioned this a little bit earlier, just regarding faculty and how they truly will bend over backwards to make sure that our students have the resources that they need. But can you share a little bit more about what that level of engagement looks like with our faculty? As a UOnline student, what kind of access can they expect to, experience with both faculty and as well as their peers?
So I think basically whenever we are working with the programming, we will say that you guys will be getting error messages. You guys will be getting warning messages from your software. It's daunting whenever you get the message from your software saying, I cannot do anything, it's error. And we don't want to go that one that frustrates you and anxious about the programming and stopping you to learn more. So the way we'll be doing is, of course, we'll be providing all the video recording of, every week's classes and also readings and, applications or lab session. We'll be providing everything. But at the same time, I was talking to my instructors, I want to have also real live sessions that will be recorded every week. So then if you guys have time, if you want to have a lunch, you just want to engage with the instructors, how I am explaining something that is not really making sense to you, you can come to that session. And if the time differences are there, if you cannot make it, of course, we'll be making the recorded sessions and the notes that we are making up into the Zoom. So that you have a couple of different ways to work with your, synchronous and asynchronous sessions. Having more resources, sometimes one thing might click to you, but one thing might not click to you in different methods. So I really want to use a different way of working with you guys. And I think that's what our instructors will be doing it. And also we'll be having office hours. The office hours is not going to be just lecturing sessions. It will be one-to-one sessions or a group session, depending on how you guys want to make your session to go with it. So we understand, and you guys will have a lot of questions. And maybe at night you were just working with R and R says, I cannot do it. Maybe I will going to ask you, just copy and paste it, screenshot it and send it to us. And maybe that's the way that you guys can also work with us. Maybe having some chat or emailing. I will say that's what we are working with any of my students as well. So you guys will not be exceptions for that learning process and teaching process with me.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And again, that is definitely by far my favorite part of the University of Miami is just the level of intentionality that our faculty give to students. And, if we're being honest, unfortunately, online education has a bad reputation of students just showing up, submitting their assignments, never hearing back from their faculty, always having questions, and really not getting the level of engagement that they need and desire to have, given the investment, not just financially, but with their time. And so I can fully 100% say that our faculty, they have created this atmosphere that is unlike any other that I have seen, being in higher education. I'm truly just floored at how often our faculty do engage with students if they have questions. I know other faculty have shared, it's 10:30 at night, I'm checking my email, I saw an email, I immediately responded, and that is just unheard of, unfortunately, within online education. So it really says a lot about the amazing faculty that we have. And I also want to share that the only way that they're able to do that is because we are very specific in wanting to make sure that our classrooms are small. So usually no more than about 15 to 20 students per class, again, so that they know your name, they know if you're not engaging in class, they will message you to see where you're at because they care. And also, if you have questions, they can easily assist you with whatever you need. And I also love the fact that you had mentioned that they have the option to either attend the live session or go back to watch the recording of the session. Whereas an on-campus student, they don't have the luxury of hitting the rewind button. Whereas online, you do have that flexibility of what is going to work best for me. I can't do it today. I can't watch the live session. I have a meeting. No worries. I'll go watch the recording, or I have time. So I love that they have that, dual option available for them to kind of cater to their personal needs.
That's right. And of course, you can forward quickly too if you feel like you know everything. So
yeah, that's true. Put it on double speed as you're listening.
that's right. That's right.
That is very true. Very true. Well, Dr. Hahn, I know we are coming towards the end of our session. So is there anything that you feel like you would like to share with someone that's considering our program? Maybe something that we haven't shared yet, or you want to reiterate that might help them decide if this program is going to be the best fit for them and what we can do to serve them here at the U.
Sure. So I want to say that I know everybody is using Alexa or something Siri every single day, right? Alexa, do this one. And, although we are using those technology, we don't know if those things can become your data, that those can become your informations. And sometimes I feel like we as a public, we as an individual community, we really need to think about how data can be utilized correctly and communicated accurately. And I think we all have that I guess mission as the person who is living in this era of data revolution. So I really want you guys to become the part of the data set and whatever information you are having it, and get to know about your data set and understand your data and just understand what's going on in this whole world. I think that's all about data management, the statistical analysis that we are doing it. It sounds like it's very fancy, but it is more with playing with the data, playing with the numbers, and just applying what you learn from us to your real life. It doesn't have to be your company work. It doesn't have to research, but it can be something that you can also play with your niece, nephew, or son and daughter. So I'm going to say that numbers and data are not far away. It is always with you guys. And this one will be, I would say it's not stepping stone, but it will be more with your life, everyday life that you will be playing with. And at the end, you feel really proud of yourself knowing some numbers and how to play with the numbers. So I'm going to be here with you guys. And this one is not scary things that you guys are really thinking there's a computer science. It's not. It is working with the data and playing with the data. Hopefully you guys can consider this one more positively. If you have questions, I'm here and you can Google me. And this is your University of Miami and RME program. I will answer your questions directly if you have some, and we will be collaborating with UOnline programs and our schools, and we will make your life together better and make our life work together better for our next generations.
I love that. I don't think there's any better way to wrap up this session. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Liz.
Oh, of course, of course. I do want to just reiterate before we wrap up that if you're looking to try to start this program specifically for the fall, our final enrollment application deadline is coming up in just a few weeks. So it's Monday, August 15th. But as a reminder, spots are offered on that first come, first serve basis. So make sure that you're getting your application submitted as soon as you can. In the chat, you'll actually see that link if you want to get started on the application. Don't do it right now. But we want to keep you with us just a little bit longer. But click on that link, get started. Again, it's free. And by attending today, we also want to be able to offer you our $300 deposit waiver. Again, we want to make sure that you have every opportunity to be able to join in on this fantastic program. Join Dr. On, like she said, help make the world a better place by impacting the generation that is to come and utilizing that data to your advantage and theirs. And so we are going to be offering that $300 deposit waiver. So that means if you apply, you're admitted and you want to accept your offer, it's one less thing you have to worry about. So by attending today, that is going to be locked in for your application. So be sure to connect with an enrollment advisor and let them know that you attended, and we'll certainly get that applied to your account. Again, make sure you're getting your application submitted early. We're also accepting applications for this spring of 2023 as well. So again, connect with an enrollment advisor and let us know what cohort it might be the best fit for you personally. Again, you can reach us at that number there. You can also submit a chat at the website you see on your screen. And of course, there's another link to apply. So again, that is all that we have this evening. Dr. On, thank you so much again for joining us. It was a pleasure getting to speak with you today. And hopefully all of our attendees listening live and those who are going to be catching up later will come and join this fantastic program.
Thank you, Liz. I hope I can see you guys in classroom, and have a great night.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great night, and we'll hopefully talk with you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.